Hey, first of all, with this light voice that you hear, I want to say that it's not me, it's God. Because I'll tell you, there is no way in the world that a chocolate brother from the ghetto could get a law school education without going to law school so tight that you can trap all the attorneys, all the judges, all the government officials to give the power to the people.
That's right.
In Isaiah chapter 49, you'll see where God tells how he'll raise people up.
That's right.
In order to take back the lawful captives from the oppressors,
Yes.
from the mighty ones.
Yes.
And it's deep that we have people like Adele that are fighting child trafficking.
Yes.
But I want to ask y'all a little question. If there was a business, right? If there was a business that made $1 billion a year off of wicked things, would you want to know what was happening?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, God let me meet Josh Barnett at a meeting where Dave Farnsworth, the senator, was talking about children being trafficked and given away and lost by CPS. And at that meeting, we were told, am I telling the truth, Josh? That the Department of Child Safety is a $1 billion a year entity. 1 billion. They take 1,000 kids a month. Now, Donald Trump got in some trouble. Donald Trump wrote an executive order in the middle of COVID. And it wasn't about COVID. Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
Donald Trump wrote an executive order against CPS, saying that they were unlawfully taking children. And that their parents were not having their voices heard at all. And the children were not having their voices heard at all. So when I got to meet Josh Barnett at a meeting about DCS, and then I got to meet Adele, and he was going against child trafficking, and then Donald Trump came out with a report, I believe last year. Y'all know what he said, his administration? They said 88% of the kids in sex trafficking came directly from CPS and foster care. For the last 3 years, guess what Donald Trump has done? Drop the numbers of the kids going into the system.
Yeah.
Children are 7 to 10 times more likely to get raped or abused in CPS and foster care. See, you got to realize that there's a dynamic that God is allowing to happen that we may not have realized. Trump made war on traffickers.
Yeah.
I have a friend named David Strait. He deals a lot with the law. We talk all the time. David Strait is ex-military intelligence. He's the one who gets the evidence, who gives it to Trump, and then they go kick people's doors in. Facebook took my account. But on the one account, there's witnesses who saw it. 2 weeks before 1,700 pedophiles got arrested,
Yeah.
I went on Facebook and said, hey guys, guess what? 2 weeks, 1,700 arrests. And people are like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. All right. 2 weeks in, people are like, oh Lord, he might know. Right? So something is coming now. And I'm happy because I get to tell y'all about it. Can y'all tell I'm happy? When you start standing up against trafficking and corruption, you get a lot of death threats. I got a lot of offers for my life to be snatched from me. And I'm happy. Because I'm having fun.
That's right. We know what we're doing out here, bro.
And if I die, y'all gonna see a lot of victory happen because we decided to do the work together.
Yeah.
Because we stood up and started talking, right?
Yeah.
And so I believe 100% in telling people the truth, empowering the people. You know why? Because in the scriptures, when you look in the book of Genesis, when people were doing wrong, God had to confound their language because they were trying to build a tower to heaven without him. But God said something that was powerful though. He said, look, behold, the people is one.
That's right. That's right.
And nothing that they imagine to do shall be restrained from them. So when you're doing something right, God ain't interfering in a bad way. He's interfering in a good way. So when I say, I know we're going to win, I know, you know how I know?
We already won.
Because I'm not going to wait for other people to take action. I'm going to go run and tell the people everything, right? I went on Twitter, asked Josh if I'm telling the truth, a couple of weeks ago, and I said, hey, y'all want to hear something funny? The legislature say they don't want to come back to work. That's funny, ain't it? And y'all know what I said? I said, I bet y'all they gonna be running to return real quick. And then me and Josh got together and sent out one affidavit. And then 9 showed up, or 5 or 6 or something. And we weren't happy enough. So we sent another affidavit. How many came the next day? 27 or 8. So every time we send them notice, more happens. They said they weren't going to be able to make it because they messed up on the meeting Friday that they had days and days in advance to get to, right? Were we cool with that? No. So you know what I did? I said, hey Josh, can you send them that email I gave you? And Josh went on live Twitter. You got mail. Ding, right? He said, y'all better check y'all mail. Guess what happened? We're going to have a meeting on Monday. Oh, really? Really? It's funny how many meetings they have when you send them affidavits of treason. Hey, it's like, oh, you don't want to work, so you got time to read? So let me send this to you. It's 3 pages. I bet you move, right? So this is the power of the people. I'm a nothing, nobody, chocolate guy from the ghetto. Hey, I'm nothing without God. But I'm going to tell you what. There's a whole lot of people out here who they going to fear more than me. Whole lot of people. So when you look at me, I'm not the guy with the suit on that they should be running from. So if you go after him, whew, it's going to be heaven to pay. Guaranteed. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys how to take action. Now, I know it's been hard. I know your heart moves a little bit back and forth, and you're like, whoa, God, are you with us? Are you going to take care of this? I'm feeling a little doubtful. They're cheating God. They're doing wrong. I'm going to tell you what. Every single time God shows his might and his power, he has to make it look bad. You know why? Because he told you, walk by faith and not by sight. If you're looking, you're cheating. You should be hearing the power that you have and stand on it. And I'm going to show you how. So, I want to ask you guys a little question about law. First question I want to ask, there's this guy, or there's this person, I'll just ask y'all, who's the #1 guy in Arizona? Who is it? Doug
Ducey.
Wrong! Doug Ducey is not the #1 person in Arizona. Y'all want to know who the #1 person is in Arizona? Raise your hand if you want to know. Now keep it up like you got the good deodorant, right? Keep it up. You are #1. God is #1 in heaven. But God told us to have dominion on earth.
Yes.
And God told us something. When we wanted a king back in the day, God's people, God said, look, if you get a king, he's going to send your kids to war, do all types of bad stuff, steal your stuff. You really don't want a king, just let me be your king. And the people were like, God, we really want a king. He said, okay, I'll give you a king, but I'm going to pick him, and you're going to hate him, and stuff's going to be bad for you, but just remember I told you so. Right? So our forefathers, your forefathers, right? Mine too, your forefathers, right? Because we all got common forefathers. They were super brilliant people. Your forefathers said, and a lot of your forefathers were chocolate people too, just know that, right? I can show you documents in North Carolina where they say we don't want to be ruled by these people anymore, and they were talking about chocolate people, right? So there were black and white people all working together. Don't believe the hype. It wasn't all slavery with black people as slaves. There were some filthy rich black people, filthy rich white people, everybody were together. So don't believe that. And I'll prove it one day. So let's go deeper. So what happened was your forefathers who were brilliant, they said, you know, way back in the Bible, God said don't get no king, and don't get a king, double negative, sorry. Don't get a king, right? And the forefathers said, you know, the king in England really he messed with us. He tore up our life. He sent out all types of officers. He created them to destroy us. We don't want one of those. So when we create this place called America, we're going to be free, and we're going to be the kings with no subjects. We're not going to have any subjects. And we're going to rule, and anybody we let work in government for us are going to be called servants. Did y'all know that? Okay. Now, we often confuse servants for leaders. People keep saying our leaders aren't meeting. I'm like, what? You didn't come to the meeting? Our rulers aren't acting right. Wait, you didn't act right? The people in the state constitution of Arizona, it says all political power, Article 2, Section 2, all political power is inherent in the people. You know what that means? Do y'all want me to explain what that means? That means that you don't beg the legislature to come.
Civil servants.
Yeah, they're servants. Y'all know, okay, some people don't like